Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Dattie podcast. Today is December 5th, 2024, and I am here with KRT SMP all the way in Birmingham, England. What's up,
Good,
KRT?
man. I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. And I'm saying KRT, even though his name is Christian, because you introduced yourself. I met you at Meeting of the Minds. You said you could call me KRT. That's fine. You know what it reminds me of, though? I was thinking, it sounds like one of Elon Musk's kids, because all the acronyms.
Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that. The bank balance doesn't say it, but I'll take it.
Right? I know. Uh, so I had met you at Meeting of the Minds. What did you think about it?
It was big. It was big. It was. I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't. After going to the Manchester one, and then went to the New York one, it was just a bigger scale. I mean, it was the first time I've been to America. First time I've been to New York, Times Square. It was overwhelming. It was good. It was exciting. Um, but yeah, man, the event was brilliant.
That's great. And did you so you did I guess on your way over, were you nervous? Was anybody else on the plane? Like, did you know anybody? For
It
any
was not that I knew of on the plane. It was me and my wife. We flew over. My little girl stayed at home, so it was kind of like a nice little trip for us as well. And then, like I say, when we got there, it was overwhelming. It was big. It was exciting. And then I couldn't wait to meet everyone else who I'd been talking to leading up to it. So that was a really exciting part to meet other people that I've been talking to since their last event.
I feel the same way. And people that you see online, right? On Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, just I've been messaging people for years and talking to them or texting and or even on the phone, and to put a face and meet them in person, I think that's probably my favorite part, if I'm being
Yeah.
completely honest.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's great to meet up with the ones that you've been chatting with, but then also just making new connections, people who you may have seen online but never met in real life. Like you, we'd never met before. We spoke maybe
Yeah.
a couple of times. The odd message on like Instagram or a comment on a piece of work that we might have done or a client. So and actually you put that face to a name. Yeah, it's cool, man. It's really cool.
Agreed. So I saw recently that you did a training with My Beauty Academy. Now, what is
Yes.
My Beauty Academy and how'd you get involved in it? Because it looked like there was a bunch of girls there. I don't know how your wife felt. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know you're a loyal man. I briefly met your wife, but there was a lot of pretty girls there. And it just looked like you. I think there's one or two other dudes. How
Yeah,
did you get involved in that? What is it?
that's something so cool. So the company, the academy, is run by two women called Luba and Julka, um, and they run an academy for beauticians essentially. And what they do is they'll get people in from overseas or locally, depending on the talent. And they've created something where people can go there and they can learn. They can maybe learn whether it's doing lips, doing eyeliner, whether it's doing nails, all these different type of beauty treatments. And what they didn't have was anyone who did SMP. Um, and they contacted me probably like 2.5 years ago now, and it was really out of the blue. It was a text message, and it was from Julka saying, "Hi, this is Julka." I was playing golf at the time, and she was saying, "Hi, this is Julka. Um, we would love to fly you to Italy to show your technique." And truth be told, Joey, I was like I say, I was playing golf. It popped up on my watch. I was like, that don't sound genuine. That don't sound right. Carried on playing. Got a coffee at the end of the round, and then thought, I better have a look into it. Who is My Beauty Academy? So I went on Instagram, first protocol, had a look, and I was like, okay, this is real. Like, they've got a lot of followers. Not that that means anything, but they've got a good foundation, a good Instagram account, a good website. And I thought, this is real. Like, how cool is this? So reached back out to them, said, let's get a FaceTime call and let's get something in place. And 6, 7 months later, after kind of back and forth, how we're going to do it, who we're going to aim it at, what's it going to be for. The first one was done, and since then, the one you saw, that was my fourth time that I've been there in the just under 2 years.
Wow. So you're doing this like every 6 months.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, and they're paying for your trip. They're paying
Travel, flights, accommodation, and food.
and
Yeah,
do
wild.
and do you get paid? You don't have to tell us the details or numbers, but do you
Yeah,
get paid to do the training, or you're not
yeah,
this
yeah,
just pro
yeah, yeah,
bono type
yeah.
stuff?
Absolutely. So when I first got the call and when we first had a chat, and the first time I went out there, I didn't know this was going to be a long term thing. Like I really, really didn't. That wasn't. I don't know if it wasn't the plan. I just didn't know how it was going to pan out. So they flew me, my wife, my little girl, and my mum over,
Oh, that's good. They
and
took your daughter too? That's great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was brilliant because we didn't know if it was going to be a long term thing. We didn't know, so we just thought we'll all go over there. I'll do my work. How amazing! And then, kind of the money that we made from it, we just spent in Milan. So it was kind of like let's just enjoy the moment. Let's just enjoy it. How exciting! Going overseas to do the work that I love. How cool! And then day two, they messaged. They gave me a little note, and they're like, "These are the dates that we've got for the next one. If you want to come back." And I'm like, absolutely. Like this is amazing. And since then they've been so good. They constantly keep in touch with me. We're constantly talking with our previous trainees. That's important. It's not just a case of training in this big group and then leaving them to it. That is something that I wouldn't be uh, comfortable with. So we have a WhatsApp group that we message back and forth, and we put in different clients that they may have had or had troubles with, or potential clients, or any questions about potentially ink dilution or needle choice. So it's a constant back and forth, which is so cool. And like I say, Luba and Jorka, they gave me the opportunity to go out there, and it's just been such a success since. Really, really has.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, and the fact that they picked you, because I'm sure they had, obviously England has a lot of options, right? There's a lot of really, really talented people in
Yeah,
England.
yeah,
And they chose you, and now
yeah.
you got a good fucking deal, dude.
Yeah. No, it's so cool, man. Honestly, and like I say, ever since we've spoke, they've just been amazing. They've been so good to me. So yeah,
So do
it's
most of these girls do like, I guess they're already
they're not
PMU
all
artists?
girls. They're not all girls. Come on,
Oh,
Joey.
okay. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Do most of these human beings
Yeah, a little bit.
are they already kind of in the business, or is this their
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time
No, no, no,
learning?
no, no, no. So it's not fundamentals. It's not complete basic. Um, I wouldn't be able to teach 14, 15 people basic SMP on my own in 3 days. Not a
Yeah, yeah,
chance.
for
Not a
real.
chance. It's so they've got background and they have to kind of come through the academy. They have other people that travel to and into it, but a lot of people will start at this academy and they might start off doing I don't know lips, for example. They might start doing powder brows. They might do all these different machine type treatments, and then they can kind of work their way up to SMP. But it's minimum PMU, required. It isn't anyone just off the street. It's not anyone brand new. It's people who have either got their own place or renting somewhere and kind of involved in the industry, and then wanting to add SMP as a service for their treatments.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I saw you're also going to New Zealand with Willie and Hayden are going to be there.
Yes,
That's exciting. Have you ever been to New Zealand?
no, it's
Me
that's
neither.
huge. I'm so excited for that. It's um, it's something that Willie Boy and Hayden, I think, had set up originally. They conversations about it, and then me and Willie Boy talked quite a bit, and he reached out and said, I want you to jump on this. It'll be good. Me and you will go out there, and Caitlin, she's a stone's throw away from Hayden on the grand scheme of things, and Hayden was taught by Caitlin, so we kind of put it all together and thought, we've got four artists who each bring something different. Myself, I do training throughout Europe and beyond, and Caitlin's been in the game forever. She's so knowledgeable. And then you've got Willie Boy, who is so underrated, I think, within the SMP industry. He's such a phenomenal artist, but he doesn't do much training. That's not his path. So the fact that he's bringing that to the table, obviously myself, Hayden, who is he won't mind me saying this. He's new in the game. He's new in the game, but he's doing so well. I mean,
He is. I've seen his
he's doing
work.
so well. His work is beautiful. He takes his time. Um, and more importantly, he's a good guy. He's a really cool guy. He's someone who is really good to be around. He gives really good energy. So the fact that four of us are going to be there, it's going to be a really big class. And whoever's booking onto it, we've had 6 people book onto it already, which is really cool. So it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait.
And so, Kristian, are you and Willie or any of them, are you guys on any teams or anything? Any of these brand teams?
Yeah, so Willie Boy is on Bishop team. Caitlin, I believe, is also on the Bishop team. I'm not on any team, and I'm not sure Hayden is. I'm not sure
Okay.
Hayden is. Yeah.
And so, and why aren't you on any team? Why? What do you got going on?
I mean, I suppose in terms of teams, Bishop is what I use.
Okay.
Bishop is what I use. So their machine is, in my eyes, the best. The needles, in my eyes, and my experience and my results are the best. I'm a big fan of Bishop. I've tried lots of other different machines and needles and whatnot, but Bishop is the one I go to. Regarding ink, I've just launched my own. It's called Aurum, um, which is just here. Let me get my camera right, just there. And this
Ballroom.
is Aurum, Latin for gold, Joey.
And
Latin for gold.
how do you spell that?
AURUM.
Okay.
Yes. And to be honest, this was a collaboration. This is a collaboration between my beauty academy and myself. They
Oh
have got
wow.
a yeah. That's what I'm saying. These two women, Luba and Julka, they're just so amazing. They have got a sister company called My Alchemy, which is a pigment brand, and they create all of their own pigment for all the treatments and academy that they have within their academy. The only line of pigment they don't have is SMP. Now, obviously, me working alongside them, they reached out to me about 10 months ago and said, we want to create a pigment together. And I said, okay, and we went back and forth, and they sent me a few different bottles of prototypes that we used. It's all pretty much the basic ingredients that we all know, with a few tweaks here and there. So we sent a few back and forth, and we dismissed one of them, and one of them wasn't right. And then the one I was happy with, I've been kind of using alongside another brand that I use. And yeah, it was released a week ago. But there's always a but. This isn't released to general sale. This is
I mean, what does
ex-
that mean? Yeah.
this is exclusively for anyone who's trained with myself, or anyone who's trained with myself at my beauty academy. So this is kind of exclusive for all of my trainees for now. I want to get all of their feedback. I want to get their results coming in. I want to get their opinion when it comes through. And then when we're ready, if we're ready, we'll put it out to the rest of the artists. But
Uh, Are you going to be willing to ship to the U.S. because obviously it costs more money to ship overseas?
yeah. When the time is right, yeah. This collaboration isn't to take on the giants in the industry.
Okay.
It's not designed for that. It's not another ink to rival the big boys, if you will. This is
Mm-hmm.
just a collaboration that me and my beauty academy have put together. Something I'm really proud of. Something I'm really honoured to be a part of. So it's slow and steady. It's just for me, just for my trainees. We're going to use it. We're going to get good results from it. I'm going to start to build that kind of portfolio for the ink. And if there is a demand, we'll put it out there. And if there isn't, then there isn't. But it's not to rival the big boys. It's purely a real personal kind of opportunity.
Great. Congratulations, man. That's
Thanks,
awesome.
man.
And
Cheers.
I
Thank
hope you're
you.
able to take it to whatever level you want to.
Yeah, that's it.
What's up, SMP world? It's Chris with the Blends Protein. A lot of people are switching over to our products. The most realistic results are being put out using Blends products. These products were made for artists by artists. We want to make you a believer. Here's 20% off your first purchase. Use
Dattie.
podcasts. blends for the most natural results in the world.
Now I had you know, I'd seen your story. We had even talked backstage. I was, you know, behind you while you're getting all pumped up to go on stage and that whole thing, and that was great. And I loved your speech. I loved everything you went over, but I kind of want to start from the beginning. So, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in a city called Lichfield. Um, I lived there with my mum and dad, older brother, younger brother. Oh gosh, till I was what, 18, 19. And then moved out into a two-bed house with my friend that we rented, and we just used it as kind of like a place where we would just sleep and then work and then go out and party and then come back and just kind of rinse and repeat that over and over.
Continue partying
Um,
at your place?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, Litchfield. That's where I was brought up. And
Litchfield.
yeah,
Were you a good kid, Christian? Were you a bad
do you
kid?
know what? I'd say I was. We all have different backgrounds, which was a really good thing that you really went into yours and you really opened up on stage. So that was amazing. Whereas, like I say, everyone has different backgrounds. My background um, was kind of boring in a good way. I didn't have any troubles. I didn't have any kind of violence around me. I didn't have anything like that. So it was a kind of really nice upbringing. I had friends around me. We played in the street. We played football down the park. Didn't get into trouble. So it was a really nice upbringing. Something that's it doesn't happen that often. So yeah, I had a good upbringing.
I love to hear that. Now, did you play any sports?
Football,
Are you an athlete?
football, yeah, football. Football's my thing. Um, Played
Soccer
football
for the
for
Americans. Soccer for the
yes, oh
Americans.
yes, soccer. Yeah, touchdown. I know that's NFL. Isn't it? Yeah, so soccer. I can't say soccer, Joey. Football.
I know. Everybody, yeah, and it makes
Can't-
sense. You're kicking the ball with your foot. It makes sense. I
Football.
don't know why it's called soccer. I don't know.
I love it. So yeah, football from a young age. I played a pretty good standard. I played semi-pro.
You
Nothing
played
crazy.
semi-pro soccer, football?
Yeah,
Oh
football.
shit!
Yeah, but nothing crazy. It wasn't hundreds and hundreds of pounds a week. It was nothing like that. It sounds better than what it does, truth be told. I got paid £75 a week. I got paid £5 per goal. But it was good. It was a good standard of football. And in England, in the kind of tier systems of football, that was decent. I played Saturdays. We played a good little stadium. So it was nothing crazy, but it was
Was
good
this
football.
while you were living in the house with the what was it? Two of your other friends?
Yeah, yeah. So this was, yeah, it was, yeah. And it was kind of like Monday to Thursday, we would kind of like work and go to the pub. And then Friday, we wouldn't. And then Saturday, I got my game. And then after the game, we would then drink and then go into Sunday. But yeah, I was decent. I was all right. I played okay.
That's good. Um, what kind of work did you do when you weren't playing football? Like, what was your actual job when you're
So
18, 19?
I've always worked in gyms.
Gyms? Okay.
So yeah, whether it be kind of membership sales, I would then go into national sales where I'd travel up and down the country and I'd go into different gyms under the same chain and I would implement different sales techniques or how to deal with clients and customers and focus on the client's journey, which is kind of what I've then put into this. I feel like it's transitioned really well. Um, I would go in and focus actually on the client that wants to join the gym, the reasons why are they there, what are they looking to achieve, what's their goal. So I would then implement these kind of sales and structures to the team that was there, and then just move on to the next kind of club and keep working my way around. But that,
And,
go on, sorry.
and how long did you do that for? This is when you were like 18?
So I did that until kind of off and on different places. The wife fell pregnant, which was the plan, and because I was traveling from different place to different place to different place, living in hotels, that was never like the option for me. When the missus fell pregnant, it was like, right, we need to um, quit that job. I need to start working from more local, so I could be
So
there
you met your wife
in
while
Ibiza,
okay. Okay.
in
And,
Ibiza, which is the best place in the world, by the way.
so do you know who Alex Hormozy is?
Ooh,
You probably
probably
see
not
him
by
online.
name.
He looks like a caveman, but he would go around to gyms. He was like this gym guy who
Yeah,
then he scaled his business up, but he kinda started like that. He was going around to all these gyms,
yeah,
different acquisitions and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
No, I'm maybe on Instagram.
yeah, yeah. But how long were you doing the gym thing? Was it 5 years, 10 years, 7 years?
How long was I doing that? So for the company that I was in, where I go for different places, probably like 4 years.
Okay.
About 4 years, but I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was so good. I loved the fact that I was away Monday to Thursday, company credit card, company car. I was a real diva, if you can imagine that. I wouldn't stay in a hotel unless it had a pool and a gym. I wouldn't stay
Well,
in
if
these
they're
kind of.
paying for it.
But mate, if they're paying for it, I'm staying in with the gym and a pool, and I want a sauna and a steam room. So
Yeah.
and I loved it. To be truth be told, if that was always going to be part of the plan, I would do that forever. I really, really enjoyed it. But the wife fell pregnant, which was the plan, and I didn't want to be away from any little bumps or anything like that. So I needed to be at home. So quit that job. I then worked at a local gym, which was really good. I loved it. But then I was promised a promotion. I was promised a pay rise if I hit certain targets. I hit those targets, went into the meeting, and they said we don't have it in the budget to continue. So
Damn.
I walked out there and then. Walked out, got the train home, and yeah, that was it. So I was
That's
then
how you quit?
jobless. Yeah, just walked out. It felt really good. But like they promised me a pay rise, and it wasn't even that much. But
Mm.
they didn't. So I walked out, and it was one of them. It was meant to be. I walked out. I then got a job working from home. So I worked in our spare room, turned it into a bit of an office, nothing crazy. And I was then selling level 4 strength and conditioning courses, which is kind of like the next level after a personal trainer, that further education. Um, and it was good, it was okay. And then it got to the point where like you get paid, they'd minus certain commissions if paperwork wasn't bang on or someone cancelled, and it was never really steady. But I was at home, and you're just working just to work. I wasn't living. There wasn't much money at the end of the month. Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great.
How old were you when you got married?
27, 27, 26,
Okay, and
27.
this was and when did you find out your, wife was pregnant?
About a year and a half after we got married, maybe a
Okay,
year. Yeah,
okay.
no messing, no messing here.
And so once you, so you're working at this stay-at-home job, is that around the time your daughter was born as well?
Yes, it was. Yeah, it literally was. And then, kind of leading into working from home, I, like I said on stage in New York, I kind of had this. Someone sent me a meme of this like before and after guy that had had hair loss, and they saw it, and he was like, "Oh, look at this! It's a tattoo." And because I've got tattoos, I kind of presumed that's why he sent it. So obviously I've got hair, so
Yeah.
SMP has never really, well, it's never been on my radar. I didn't know what it was. I've not got a clue. So I've never gone down that rabbit hole of hair loss and cures and results and solutions. Um, so I was like, oh no way, look at that. And then it kind of like algorithm popped in and started to see different ones. And to be honest, I saw really bad work. And whenever you Google SMP, you tend to see bad work. And I was like, there's no way people are doing this. There's no way people are doing tattoos on their head to look like hair. It just doesn't kind of make sense. And then it kind of kept popping up, and I thought, you know what? I've seen some good results. There was a guy, I won't drop names, there was a guy in Canada And I saw his results all the time and thought, God, that's so natural. It looks good. It looks nothing like a tattoo. Um, I reached out to him. He was really cool, a really nice guy. Took the time, which was the main thing, I think. He took the time to reply to messages where obviously he's busy, didn't have to do that. So that I'll always kind of remember that. And did a course, did a 3-day course. And
so you trained with someone in Canada?
no. I only spoke to someone in Canada. Yeah,
Okay.
just
Okay.
to kind of delve into it a little bit. No, I did a 3-day training course with Kevin Langley near Manchester, near Liverpool, north of where I
Okay.
live.
And what's the
And
name of his company?
Kevin Langley, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it was KL Academy. KL
Okay.
Academy. Yeah. So I did a 3-day course. Terrified, truth be told. Never picked up a tattoo machine. Never worked with ink. Not very good at drawing. So it was new. It was. To be honest with you, it felt like a gamble. I guess just a gamble, just to try it, see if I like it, see if I'm good at it, and see if it could be something.
And this is coming from the gym. So everything before was you were doing sales, gym related, working
Yeah,
out, and you're
yeah,
like, you know what? This hair tattoo thing is kind of a good idea. I'm gonna try it out. And you just kept investigating.
yeah. Pretty much. I was kind of like hooked on it weirdly because, like I say, I've
Especially for
never.
a guy with hair. Especially
You
for a
know what I
guy with
mean? Sorry, guys. Yeah. So it was kind of. I was just hooked on it. I think because I've got tattoos, I kind of thought, how is that even gonna work?
Yeah.
So I was kind of more intrigued and curious about it. Um, and like I say, I did the course. I didn't know what to expect, and I fell in love with SMP literally on that course. 3 days, and I was like, "This is just unbelievable. This is so cool."
Did you train with anybody else or was it just one-on-one?
There was me and a girl, so there was 2 people in the course. Um, we did our 2 days worth of like theory and dot work and practice and melons, and then had our model on the 3rd day. I still remember his name. I won't say his name, but I still remember him. I still keep in contact with him now, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Pops up on my Facebook every now and then if it's his birthday or if he's done something. So that's really cool. And then yeah, just fell in love from there.
That's great. And I imagine you're probably his most successful student, right?
I'd say so, yeah.
I'm always
Yeah,
curious
yeah,
about that because
yeah.
I'm not familiar with Kevin. Maybe if I seen it, I'm not familiar with Kevin. Sorry, Kevin, if you end up listening to this. I'm just
No,
not
he's a
familiar.
good
There's
guy.
so
He's a
many.
great guy. He's a
Yeah,
great guy. He's a really good guy. He's been in and around SMP for a long time. He's been in and around Meet the Minds in the early days with Damien, I believe. Um,
probably if I saw him, I'd recognize him.
Yeah,
I'm
probably,
just not familiar.
probably.
Or
His main
logo.
focus isn't SMP now. Truth be
Oh,
told, he's doing really well with his own laser machine company. Um, so yeah, he's doing really really well with that. But yeah, I'd say I'm his top student if that's such a thing.
yeah, yeah. I think it is. I think it
Yeah.
is. Um, I I ended up training with like Dan Urenberg, and then I went with Giro, and I also saw you went over to Giro for a little bit. How were you able to get? Sorry, a little sidetrack. We'll go back to your story, but I'm
No,
curious.
you know what, Jernberg. Um, Spoke to him quite a bit in the early days, and
Did
like
you?
I
Yeah.
honestly, I've still got the messages, and it was because I was like brand new, and Kevin Langley had said, Daniel Jernberg, really good artist, da 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 da. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll message him, and again, I sent a couple of my, I mean, I look back on them now, God, I sent a couple of my like second sessions, and he was like, hey man, this is a really good first session. Looking forward to seeing you next one. And I'm like, oh no. So he took the time to message. So that was cool, man. And I think because of the early days, you remember certain artists, like I said, the guy in Canada and him, and you think, I don't know, you know, where you'd be if you hadn't spoke to them, but they were the kind of people who you looked up to and the kind of people who took their time to say, you know, keep going, well done, maybe work on this. So yeah, it's cool that you mentioned him. And Jonathan, yeah, I went out, obviously meeting the minds, New York. And that was a strange one, you know, Joey, because I'd put it on my Instagram that, you know, I'm out in New York, can't wait, meeting the minds and talking on stage, biggest moment in my career, it felt like, how amazing. And then this guy messaged me, I was like, hey, seen your work. If you're ever in America, let me know. I'd love to get a treatment done. And I was like, well, I'm actually in New York in like 3 weeks. And it's like, oh, I live in New York. I'm like, come on, what's going on here? So I said, listen, you know, I can do your first session in America if we can get it set up. I didn't think it would be possible, but I thought, you know, cool would that be? Not only am I going to be on stage, it's meeting the minds, I'm in New York, and I'm going to do a treatment out there. Amazing. So I put it on Facebook, and I just put, got a client in New York. Is there any artists that, you know, can let me use their studio for a little bit? And Garo reached out pretty much straight away and was like, yeah, man, DM me. Let me know the dates and times. I'll get it set up. And that was it. Just bang, done.
That's great. Yeah, John's
Really
cool like
cool.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've told a few people that story, and they were like, how nice is it that another artist can kind of put aside the fact that a client is going to go to somebody else and he's going to let them use their studio and space and time. And so, yeah, it was, yeah, really, really nice of him. Really, really nice. He's such a cool guy. I've never met him before. We'd spoken a couple of times on Insta every now and then, but nothing crazy. So, yeah, it was really, really nice that he let me use his place.
Yeah, no, that's great. And John is, you know, I've met a lot of artists. I've talked to a lot of artists. And I'll say, and John is one of the most high profile artists. He's not a hater at all. He's not a
No,
hater at all. He's not worried about it because he's got plenty of people. You know what I mean? He's
yeah,
not,
it
no
came across.
hostility.
And if anything, like he jumped in on my treatment, like you know, he was looking in on it, like right next to me, which is always a little nervous when you got Jonathan Garros just standing over your
Oh, I
shoulder.
know. I know.
But he was praising and he was saying, you know, this is going to look really good, and the pressure size is really nice, and I like your movement, and you know, the way that I kind of went about it. He was like, oh, you know, I might not have seen it like that before. That's cool. So it was really, really nice, and yeah, man, good on him. He's a really nice guy. So fair play. Appreciate it.
Shout out to John Joe. Shout out to Ink U. Ink U, a
Yes.
sponsor of the Dattie podcast. Um,
Yes.
when it comes to scalp micropigmentation, you need tools you can trust. That's where InkU SMP products come in. Jade needles are designed for precision and durability, giving you consistent, flawless results every time. Pair them with InkU pigment, a rich, long-lasting formula your clients will love. Keep things smooth with InkU butter, perfect for soothing and protecting the skin. And finish strong with antimicrobial foam cleanser for a clean, worry-free healing process. Ready to take your SMP game to the next level? Visit inkucare.com today. InkU SMP products are made for artists by artists. Now, so once you complete your training, what do you do
Yeah.
next?
uh, so I wanted to create a logo. I didn't know what to pick.
That's very important.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't know what to pick. Um, maybe I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know at this point, but you know, if I can have my initials on something, it's me, it's who I am. So that was always kind of my thing. I like gold, so I kind of just ran with that. And then the first thing I did was go on Instagram and set up an Instagram account. I thought, okay, I am Kristian Raine-Thrall, so KRT, and I'm doing SMP. That's the plan. So KRT SMP, and that was it.
And it rhymes.
Literally
It flows really good. It flows.
Yeah, and it's at the time it was like KRT SMP. Is that too much? Is it a bit like, you know, too many letters and stuff? But it sounds good now and it works, and it's kind of it's crazy, Joe, because people call me KRT.
I call you KRT. It's
Yeah.
like you're a rapper. That's how I kind of think of it.
I can't rap, so do not ask me to rap, please.
But you know,
But
it's like a
people
rap
do.
name to me.
Yeah, but people do, like mums and dads on the school run. They were like, "Oh, KRT, you're right," and like it's always strange, but it's cool. I kind of like it.
So did you start working immediately, like, out of your house? Who was, like, your first customer you kind of, were able to get? Was it a family member?
Okay. So my first client was my wife's cousin's husband, and I kind of said to him, we went around the house, and I kind of said, "Oh no, I'm doing this new thing now," and he was bold, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll have it done," and he was like, I'm like, "Okay, that's even more pressure," and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and I said, "Well, I ain't gonna charge you. I'm not gonna charge you." And he said, I'll tell you what, then we'll all go out for a meal once it's done, and that could kind of be my payment to you, which is cool. You know, not wasn't expected, but it was cool. So I did his treatment, and it was good. It was all right. I look back on it now, and obviously it's not where I am now, but it was good. He was happy, and I think it gave me a bit of confidence because it was somebody that I kind of knew, and he was
Yeah.
completely open. Like, if you make any little mistakes, don't worry about it, which kind of put me at ease, massively
Yeah.
put me at ease. Um, and
Was he a
then once I've
Norwood
done,
6? Was he totally bald?
he was like Norwood 12, mate. Honestly, it went on forever. It went on. Joey, I must have been on his head for like 6 hours. Honestly,
Did
forever.
did you blend into the sides? Did he have hair on the sides, or how did?
I tried to. I
Yeah,
tried
no,
to,
I know,
yeah.
I know.
I tried to. I gave it a good old go. No, he had a decent amount of existing hair, to be fair.
Okay.
But just a real good, large surface area, put it that way. And we got through it, and it was good. And he was super pleased, which is always the main thing. Um, and then I didn't have any clients then for about a month, maybe 2 months. So in that time, I built my own website. I don't know how to build websites, but I tried to build my own website, and it was good. It was all right, and it was something that could accompany my Instagram, and it went on Google, so it kind of looked more professional, as opposed to just me working out of a house, for example. Um, and then from there, what happened from there? So my mum runs an aesthetics clinic, so she does kind of Botox and filler, and she's been doing it forever, like 18 years,
Fine.
and she's got her own place in Solihull, which is near Birmingham. Now, I was at her clinic one day, and the landlord came in and said, um, we've got another unit next door. I didn't know if you wanted to have first dibs and have a look at it." So I'm like, "This is an opportunity." And like, mum being mum, she's like, "Don't get giddy, don't get too excited," because I get like, I'm like, "Yeah, let's have it." So she's like, "Just take a breather, have a look at it." Because obviously I've got no income kind of happening really at this point. This is just kind of, a bit of a dream at the moment for it to be a good thing. So we went in, and it's a big unit, and I was like, "This is amazing. I can really see how it could look." Um, so then we said to him, if we can have it for 3 months for free to do it up, paint it, start to put my touch on it, and then from kind of like after 3 months, we start paying rent. So he was happy with that, which was really cool. And then that was the next project. It wasn't so much focusing on the SMP at this point, truth be told. It was more putting all the time into making this place look amazing and get it looking at how I want it to, while still trying to advertise for clients. And then it opened, did a launch party, the whole balloons
Oh, you had
outside
a
the
launch
front.
party? Nice.
Yeah, yeah. I said earlier on in this podcast, I'm a bit of a diva, mate. I'm having balloons outside my place, and
Nothing wrong with that. I
nothing
have a
wrong with
similar
that.
thing with the 3 months. I negotiated 3 months too and all that.
You did, yeah. I
Yeah.
think it gives you a bit of time, so you're not straight away in the red. You can try and
And it's a
build
business that
something.
never existed before. People don't even know what SMP is, so
No,
marketing is a never-ending battle.
literally. So had balloons out the front. They were black and gold, obviously, and I had it over 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and I tried to promote it as much as I can, and obviously got friends to come in to kind of bump up the numbers,
Nice.
and actually one of my friends' husband, he was like, "Yeah, I'll get booked in." So like day one, someone booked in. So I was thinking, how cool is this? It's kind of happening, and it was really good. And then And then what happened? Tell you what happened then. COVID hit.
Ah,
Yeah.
so
But
it's
this was the best thing that happened to me, COVID, in terms of my business. The best thing. Because it means I couldn't go to work, I couldn't go anywhere, and I just had to stay at home, obviously, like everyone else in the world. So it gave me just hours and hours to practice on melons, practice on bananas, practice on latex, pigskin, which I just did practice over and over and over again. So I really do think, obviously, COVID wasn't great, but in terms of business and my time, it means I could be at home, I could be with my family more, and I could practice loads.
agreed. And now I'm not sure how it worked in England, but since you weren't allowed to work, you weren't fired, you left your other job. Were you able to get like in United States with unemployment? I don't know. Were you able to get any type of money?
Yeah, in England, you can. I can't remember if it was job seekers allowance or like a benefits that you could get. And basically, if you don't have a job, typically you can go to job seekers and they'll try and find you a job. And if they can't, in the meantime, they'll give you some money. Now, my wife's a barber, Laura. She's been a barber forever. I don't know even how long. She's had her own place for 14 years. So obviously she's self-employed. She doesn't have an income unless she's working. So she also was we were both on benefits, I suppose. Sounds terrible when you say that, but yeah, we were both getting income from the government, but it was
Nothing wrong with
needed.
that. Nothing wrong
It
with
was
that.
needed,
Yeah.
it's not something we wanted. It's not something we would do before we were working or after we were working. But in that moment, it was a case where the government helped out. They were really good, to be fair. We got about £890 a month, which didn't cover bills, truth be told, but it went to it. And in that time, we spent time together as a family, and it was great. And my little girl was growing up at this point, which was brilliant. But yeah, on the business side and work side, it gave me just a massive opportunity just to practice dots, muscle
And,
memory, and just go over it again
and
and
you
again.
also probably spent a lot of your money, renovating the place too, I assume. Like,
Yeah,
making changes.
it was. A lot of it was kind of done by me and the family,
Oh, did
So
nice.
yeah. We all chipped in. Oh God, yeah, absolutely. Like the wife was painting, I was painting. My mum would help. My older brother might help. My younger brother was helping. Um,
I love that.
yeah, it's cool. It's really good because yes, I'm the face, and yes, it's my business, and I do the work. But like behind it all, you'll know this. You're a family guy.
Yeah.
You have people who are there, who are supporting you and helping you, that people don't know about, which they don't need to, but I do. I know that they were there when they were helping. Um, and then friends, friends that have helped out that probably don't get a shout out. I've got friends who are electricians who came in and helped. Um, so it all came together for the project of KRT, I guess.
When did you start? So when did you finally pay someone to make your website?
Do you know what it was? It wasn't until about 2.5 years after I'd
Oh, wow. So
started.
you just ran with the one you made.
Yeah,
Did you use
yeah.
Squarespace or something?
I used, oh my God, what's it called? Ionos.
What's it called?
Ionos. Ionos.
I never
Ionos.
heard of, but
Yeah.
okay. Well, nice.
And
I
it's
mean,
all
it
right.
worked.
It did the job.
Yeah.
I could add little sliders for before and afters, and it was basic enough, but it seemed to have worked. To
Yeah.
be fair, I had Team Micro on my back weekly asking me asking to make me a website. Sorry, Damien. But yeah, it's when I then had it kind of updated, I had a client. This is kind of fast forwarding a little bit now. I had a client, and we were just getting to know each other. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm starting out doing website design," and I was like, "Do mine." We've all got to start somewhere. Just like I did. He was starting out. He was keen. He was super enthusiastic. He he really wanted to do a good job because I'd done a good job for him. So yeah, he did. But truth be told, I'm actually looking for a website designer now because he's finished. So any website designers, can you let me know?
I mean, I looked at your website before we came on. I thought it was really well done, to be honest.
Yeah, that's why my client did that, and I actually messaged him uh, 3 or 4 days ago. Sent him a voice note saying, "Hey man, can you add a shop onto my website because I'm going to be obviously
Oh
putting
yeah, you got to
my
make
ink
that
organ for
accommodation.
my trainees who can jump on and grab it." And he was like, "Oh man, I'm not doing it anymore." I was like, "Okay, I need to find a website designer." So yeah, that was kind of fast forward with that, but yeah, COVID hit, practice loads, and throughout COVID, kind of still advertised that, when the time's right, when the doors are open, we're taking on clients. Here's a before and after for the couple of people that I've done. Got loads of content from them to kind of help build that portfolio. It's always the hardest part when anyone starts, and I tell my trainees, it's the hardest part. You're not going to make thousands and thousands of pounds. You just won't. But if you can get past the money side of it and you do it for the love of the art and the love of the results and the reactions of your clients, the money follows. The money
Agreed.
follows.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And so, were you able to? Did you start making some sales? I mean, after that 3 months is up, you're like, "Fuck, I got to pay rent." Now, I
Yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah.
were you able to start making some sales?
No, no. Truth be told, no. So I leaned on family for um, money and rent and things like that. It wasn't like dire straits, but my wife would help out. I mean, we're a team, so her
Yeah, I
money's
get it.
my money's her money kind of thing. We've always worked like that. But I've leaned on my mum if I needed help. It was all for it was a weird one because it was all for the greater good of what it could be without us
Mhm.
knowing how far it could go. Um, and like I say, with COVID, when that hit, it was practice, practice, practice. And then throughout that, I started to gain some clients for when the doors are open. So when they were open, I had a couple of clients to go into. And because I'd done the practice leading into it, I felt confident. I felt, okay, I got this. I know how I feel the depth should be. I know what movement I should do. I know the voltage and the pressure. I know I felt like I knew, or was in a better place anyway, going into that client off the back of COVID.
It's scary when you get your first person and you're by yourself, right?
It's terrifying.
Yeah,
Honestly, it is terrifying.
and
You,
you're by
you,
your
you,
no trainer, nothing, just you and the
and
person.
the thing is, the more experienced artists will look at their kind of ink dilution and they might look at a 28 and 1 to a 26 and 1 and know that there probably isn't a huge amount of difference. But when you're brand new and you're deliberating one shade to the other and there's not much in it, it's the biggest thing in the world. It's terrifying. It is terrifying. And I say that to my trainees, it's scary as fuck. I don't know if we can swear, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah, you
scary.
can.
And it's so what I do like to do for the trainees that I have had who do want the additional kind of help, which is always there, let me know when your first client is. Um, and they'll message me and go, I've got my client in an hour. So then my phone's always in my hand, like literally, it is always here. So, in fact, look at that screensaver. Yeah,
Made up mind.
bigger minds. So it's always on hand. If a client can then message and go, I've got this guy, what do you think? Or, what dilution or what needle do you think? And I won't tell them. I'll put it back on them and say, what do you think? I need you to tell me. You've got to be on your own a little bit, but I'm here for kind of guidance if needed. So, yeah, man, it's scary. It's so scary.
What dilution would you use on your own skin if you had to do you? What would you do?
Where would I start?
Yeah.
What brand of ink?
Well, it does. Well, on your new ink, what would you use?
I would start with probably properly shaved down hair, probably 28, 26 and 1, something around the top scale.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
And you and I both know a couple drops doesn't make that much of a difference. It doesn't
it
make it
does.
does.
It doesn't make a huge, but in the moment, when
It's
you got that
scary.
client sitting there, it's the moment. I remember mine. I was terrified.
Yeah.
And then I did it and it was done. I was like, I enjoyed bits of it. And then when it was finished, I was like, thank fuck for that. And then I had a massive headache for like 2 hours. I don't know if other artists have experienced this. When I first did my first few sessions on clients, I'd go home and have a raging headache. And I
Did
needed a nap.
I did my when I did my friend alone, I was using a 1 round liner and I did it and his head was so red and it was like not showing up. And I was using the lightest thing because I was paranoid. And
Deeper.
yeah, I was yeah, I didn't have the needle fully extended. I was like,
Right.
oh shit, it was just a little nub.
Oh, it goes out.
I was like, why the fuck isn't this work? I was getting so frustrated. But thank God it was just a 1 round liner, so there was no blowouts. It just
Yeah,
wasn't showing up. But he just had all these red dots.
just
Oh,
red
it was
dots. And you're like, yeah, it looks natural, bro. It looks well good.
the reason why I asked you the dilution thing is one of the things I do. I don't know if you do it when you're training people, but to help them, I'll say, if I was going to do SMP on you, no matter, female, male, doesn't matter. I'd be like, this is the breakdown I would use on you. So then that gives them kind of a guide,
Yeah,
Okay, so if I'm this person I'm working on is darker than me, so I'm going to change it to this level.
yeah. We do that. We do examples. So we'll do like 3 or 4 different examples of different clients and different scenarios, whether it's hairline, whether it's density, whether it's FUE, whether it's alopecia. We kind of go through different examples of who it could be and what it could be and how we would approach it, which is important because everyone is from different parts of the world. Everyone has different backgrounds. Everyone works on different clients depending on different areas sometimes. So it's good to have kind of fundamental basics of different clients that are going to be sitting in your chair.
Oh yeah, I have such diversity. I mean, where I'm at. Um, Yeah, I'm fortunate for that. I'd say I'm fortunate that. But I was talking to Keith, and he was like, I was like, I hate working on red-haired, freckled people. He was like, that's all I work on.
Oh, I love it. Great guy. Great guy. Yeah, I mean, my clients tend to be kind of white guys, truth be told, majority of the time, not through the area, but more through the results that I create and achieve. And obviously, I'll post them on my social media, and it kind of attracts the same kind of client. So, yeah, mine tend to be kind of, your very typical 25 to 45-year-old white guy, and he wants a real natural hairline and nothing crazy and undetectable, which is kind of enjoy doing the most. So I kind of pick up the same kind of clients all the time, really.
Yeah, they
Um,
seek you out. They seek you out. They're like, well,
yeah,
this person kind of looks like me. He did a good job
yeah,
on him, so I'll go to him. And it makes sense. It
yeah,
makes sense.
absolutely. And it's good. It's good. I love it. Like natural hairlines is what I love doing. Truth be told, it's where I see.
Big news for the SMP world. Follicule has just dropped their new scalp pigment. It's bigger, better, and made with Hanafi Color Pigments, one of the largest pigment manufacturers in the world. Not only is this pigment backed by world-class expertise, but they are giving you more of what you need. That's right. Their new, bigger bottles mean you have enough pigment to do 20 to 25 sessions in just one bottle. And because you're part of the Dattie podcast community, we're offering you an exclusive deal. 15% off all pigments and aftercare products when you use the code DADDY at checkout. Take your SMP game to the next level with Follicule Pigments. Go to the Follicule website. Get it now. Can I ask you about the natural hairline,
Yeah,
which is probably, I'd say, I don't want to say it's the most difficult because it is. I think there's the straight line edge up is difficult in a different sense. But the natural hairline's the favorite of everybody, right? And it's
I
when
think
you're
so.
learning SMP, it's what you want to be good at. I would
It's
say
the hard,
every
I
SMP
think
artist.
it's probably the hardest one to execute over and over and over and over again.
What's
But
your
there is,
approach?
in terms of how I go about doing
Yeah,
the
so
natural hairline.
yeah, so do you know, a lot of people like my hairline, do you start an inch? So you draw the lowest point, right? You're like, okay, I can't go any lower than where your
So
forehead wrinkles are. Do you go like, I'm going to draw an inch behind, then I'm going to fade here? Like how do you do it?
obviously client specific, but in terms of the process of, in fact, I'll talk about the whole head if that's okay. I
Okay.
start at the back I always start, say it's a normal of, I don't know, 5 or 6 typically. Let's go with that as an example. I would start at the back. I would spend however long I need to kind of in that one zone right at the back. And I find that that's the area that I am relaxed. I take my time. I don't know about you, but I have different music for different zones of the head. I really do. So typically at the back, I put on Adele, nice and
Okay.
relaxing. I love Adele.
I
Nice
love
and
Adele too.
relaxing. And it just kind of, the client's relaxed. We're just getting through that area. And at that point, I can kind of understand the client's skin. Is it going to be really sensitive? Is what kind of pressure do I need to put into it? How quick can I go between each impression? And I kind of just relax and get that section done. I always take a break once I've done the back. I take a break. I take 5 minutes. I move away. I look away from the client. I ask him to stand up if he wants to. He's not allowed to look in the mirror though. That's the house rule. You're not allowed to see until the end. And then I'll do the mid zone. And once I've done that mid zone, I kind of put the music on, pop music, kind of chart music, something I can kind of sing along to or hum along to. And then it's all about the end. It's all about the main bit, the showstopper, the money maker, if you will, which is the hairline. So for me, if I was to do a natural hairline, I would, probably about half an inch to an inch, give or take, depending on the client of how much of a fade I want to put in there. I would then, because I'm right-handed and they'll be sitting in a chair, I would always start on their left-hand side. What that means is I'm not going to wipe away the hairline I've spent 45 minutes drawing on and perfecting. And I'll work from the line, slightly above it, slightly below it, slightly on it, and I'll kind of go up and up and up and up in a certain pattern and technique to open up the density and then go into my previous SMP to kind of blend it all together.
Wow. So you're one of the only people I know who start on the back of the head. I start on the back of the head as well, but most people start on the hairline. They'll do a couple dabs right here
Yeah,
and they do the hairline. But to me, I'll tell you why I do it. I
yeah,
start on the back, one, to warm my arm up.
yeah,
Two, I'm thinking when I go to take this picture, if I do the back of your head last, it's going to be all smeared. You know, the back of the head, their skin's
yeah,
going to be all wrinkled and red and
yeah,
looking
yeah.
crazy. So that's part. But
I like it last. It's exciting. It means, what it means is I'm taking my time at the back. I'm taking my time in the middle, and at the front, I'm not going to rush that. So I'm taking my time all the way through. I find, and I've seen other places, other artists, whatever it may be, who start at the front, and which is fine. That works for them. But then they kind of just open up the density more the further they get back, because kind of like the main bit's done. It's a bit like the
yeah.
Christmas tree. It looks great at the front, not very good at the back. But the back is a bit of a giveaway. If the back is looking terrible, then that's as much a giveaway as a bad hairline for me. The back has got to look blended, natural, undetectable, and flow. And the hairline, that's exciting. So like at this point, I'm putting dance music on. It's like a Friday night vibe kind of feel. The client's excited because he's sat there for 3 hours or so to have all the back and mid zone done, so he knows it's coming towards the end. I know it's coming towards the end. It's exciting, and so I start back, middle, and then at the front.
That's great. Yeah, I do back, hairline, then the middle. But you're right. Doing the hairline, it kind of doing last. I kind of like that because it forces you to want to do a great job. Because you're right.
Yeah,
Towards the end, people can space it out because they're tired. Right? It's been a
yeah,
while. It's been a
yeah,
while. The person doesn't really see it. But I agree with you. The back is so important, and I think it's under posted. If I'm being completely honest,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
on
Good
I
shot.
should. I used to do it all the time. I should post more because I do spend a lot of time on the back and blending. You know, the
Yeah,
horseshoe is very
yeah,
important.
yeah. See, I have clients who, it's not all of them, but they're so conscious of the back. That's the giveaway. That's the giveaway. That's the kind of granddad look, if you will, that we don't want to have. Nothing wrong with being a granddad, but that kind of look is kind of what they want to get rid of.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember a client. He flies in and out of the country all the time, and he said He's not even bothered about the hairline. He's so conscious of people sitting behind him on a plane, looking at the back of his head, that he wanted it, perfect, if there's such a thing. But that was his main goal: get the back done, looking amazing. Um, and then obviously had his hairline added as well. But start at the back, hit the middle, finish on the front, go home happy.
Love it. Love it. Do you think you having, obviously your work's great, but do you think having a full head of hair, does that affect you in any way of acquiring new clients?
Uh, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I have enough clients coming through, which is amazing. Um,
You know what
it's
I
a
mean?
bit of
I
a, it's a
I
bit of
asked
an
this,
icebreaker, because some of them come in who more so in the early days, where I didn't really
you're not even
practice that then.
bald,
They're not even
Kristian.
bold. They go, "God, fuck! I thought you'd be bold." And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but I'm not." Um, I don't think it does. I don't think it does, and I think if it does, then there shouldn't be, because I put as much care into it as someone who may have already had SMP and gone through the journey. Um, but it's definitely an icebreaker when they're like, "Fuck, I wish I had your hair," and I'm like, I'm so sorry." But majority of the clients who have SMP have got a beard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, as you can see, Joey, 34 years of age and KRT cannot grow a beard. This is all I've got for you. So, yes, I've got hair on the head, but I don't have a beard.
Well, you have to have one or the other, right? I don't have hair on my head. Now there's some people who have both. It is what it is.
That's it.
Uh, well, I don't recommend the beard hair transplant because I've seen them. I've seen them up close.
I saw one last week. Was it last week? It was last week. And it looked good.
Really?
I mean, I wouldn't have it done. And I
Yeah.
said this to the client sitting in my chair. But it looked good. I was quite
Yeah.
pleased with it. I thought, he wasn't very happy with it, but maybe that's him kind of trying to chase that dream and that goal. But I thought it looked good. I thought it looked decent. But some of them I have seen, they look a little bit rascal, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever considered just shaving your head, no guard, just to blend in?
Just to blend
Just
in.
to do it, just to do it, just to like take a picture, be like, look, I was bald too.
Yeah, God, it's a
Marketing
nightmare,
pics.
but look what SMP can do. No, I haven't. No, I
No.
haven't. Did I when I was younger? Not no guard. I'm a massive David Beckham fan.
Okay.
Massive David Beckham. So
You
I
think
had
he
the
had a
curtains.
transplant?
Oh, he's had two. Um,
Really?
yeah, he's had two. I hate to say it, because
How do
like,
you know that?
David,
How you're
I
sure?
know that. I know he has had
Okay.
two hair transplants.
Okay. I was wondering. I was always wondering. I was like, Daddy fucking hair?
Yeah, it's so bad to say, isn't it? Because like, he's David Beckham. But yeah, I had the curtains when I was younger, and then he shaved. And then he just shaved it off,
Yeah.
and it was all over the newspaper. And when I was younger, I used to have all his football boots and number 7, and so I did it. I did the same, shaved my hair because I had to, because Beckham did. But I haven't done it since. I don't think I will.
Yeah, I dyed my hair blonde because of Eminem, in 7th grade.
Yeah, he
We
was
all do
classy,
stuff.
wasn't it? So cool. But no, haven't shaved my hair. No intentions to. But I have always said to clients, and I will follow this through. So if everyone looks back on this podcast, if it gets to the point where I do lose my hair, I would have SMP.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go down the transplant route. No,
good.
I just wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. I work alongside a hair transplant clinic, actually, and yeah, the results are good. When the results are good, they're good. But is it? It's a bit inconsistent if they're going to hit and miss for me. And for some people, they're good to go for it. Some people, they're not. For me personally, I would brave the shave and get SMP to do it. But don't ask me how. Don't ask me who I'd get to do it. But I'd have SMP.
Well, anyone listening, I would trust KRT to do my SMP. If I needed a touch
Mate,
up,
I
and if I
appreciate
was in England, I'd let him do it.
that. I appreciate
Um,
that, bro.
so in England, there's a lot of
Yes.
in England, there's a lot of competition, right? There seems to be a new fucking amazing artist every month. I swear to God, it's like I learn about these people, and it's like, God, there's so many good artists out there.
Yeah.
You think it's affected you at all? Are you getting people from
Um,
other countries coming in at all?
I finished my third session on my client today from New York. So he
Oh,
flew
he
in
flew in?
yesterday. Yeah, I posted it earlier. So if I don't know when this is going to go live, but it's 5th of December at the moment, and I've just posted his third session. Flew in from New York yesterday. Done his treatment today. He's flying back tomorrow afternoon. And it looks fucking wicked. I'm so proud of it. I'm so pleased for him. He's a New York actor. He has had a hair system for like 28 years, something silly like that.
Oh.
Yeah, I've never, ever worked on someone who's had a hair system on for that long. And that was where I did it at Garose. You know, that was his first session there. And Hayden from New Zealand, I'm really good mates with him, and he was like, "Can I watch in on this session and kind of shadow and see how you go about it?" So yeah, I was going into that first session thinking, "Man, I hope his skin's good and not spongy, and I hope the
Did he
ink's gonna
have
take."
the adhesive damage? The people that I've worked on, like the glues jacked up their head.
No, he went for the past. He'd been going on tape, and then leading into like the 3 weeks into his first session, I was like, "You need to get on a couple of sunbeds. You know, I need you to get the skin a little bit weathered. I need you to shave your hair down more and kind of build it up so it's ready." You know, because I didn't want the last thing I was thinking is I'm going to be in New York. I was in my first session on my first client in America. Hayden from New Zealand sitting in and shadowing. I've got Jonathan who's been in the game forever, just in the background, kind of looking. Please make sure your skin is good. And it was fucking brilliant. I did my first few dots in the crown, and I was like, "Oh, this is good. This is clean." And
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I finished his third session about 4 hours ago. Um, and then I've got a guy who messaged me this morning at like stupid o'clock in the morning, a guy from Malaysia who's flying in from Kuala Lumpur in about 6 or 7 days' time. Um, so he's going to be staying here for 8 days, so I can get session one done, session two done, and then he's then going to come back in January. We haven't sorted that flight yet, but people are traveling, people are flying in, and it's amazing, man. I'm so grateful for it. It's brilliant.
Isn't it weird when someone's like gonna make a whole trip and you're thinking, just for me? You know?
It's absolutely crazy. I've got, like I say, his flight is 18 hours like trip.
Yeah.
It's crazy, unbelievable. It's so cool, and it's like I say, it just goes to show that when people want something done the way they want it, and they want it done properly in their eyes, and the results that they want, they'll travel. They really will travel, and it's amazing. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I agree. It almost when people travel a long distance to see me and do these things, I almost feel I don't want to say guilty, but I'm like I feel, you know what I mean? I feel like, man, you're coming all this way for me. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel. I'm happy. I'm happy.
yeah, it's amazing. And I tell you tell your friends and family, don't you, who aren't really in the whole SMP kind of world and how it goes. And you're like, "Yeah, I've got this guy flying in from New York," and he's flying from New York, and I'm like, "Yeah, he's flying to Heathrow, and he's then going to get on a 3 hour train up to Birmingham. I'm then going to pick him up from the hotel. He'll come to the studio. I'll do his work. I'll drop him back off. He'll then get a 3 hour train back down to London, and then he'll get a flight home to New York and carry on with his week." And
The
when you
whole
put it
day.
like,
So he only came in for one day?
yeah, flew in yesterday, did his
Okay.
treatment today. He flies back tomorrow, and that was his third session. He was with me 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that, for his second session. So yeah, he's flew in, flew out, flew in, flew out.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so cool.
That's nuts. A lot of people do what the second guy was doing. They'll stay for a week and then they'll get their
Yeah,
next one.
no. So he did first session in New York at Garose, then second session in Birmingham, flew home. Third session in Birmingham, flew home. Um, which just goes to show like how how amazing it is. Really, it really is, and it's changed his life. That's what he said, and it's just so cool to kind of be a part of that, and for him to wear your result and be super proud of it. Like that's so cool.
Are you allowed to show his face? Will he let you show his face when you do
On the first session, no. So on
Okay.
his first session, on the first time, because I was like, oh God, I want to show his face, you know, before and after.
Yeah.
And then when he came to England, he was like, I want you to show everyone. I want you to show the before and afters. I'm more than happy. So yeah, I can show his face now. I think at the start he was more nervous. I think he was scared. He wore a hair system for so long. Part of his character that he plays in New York is he's got his hair system on. So it was a big thing for him. It was a huge thing for him. So yeah, he was like, show my face. You know, I'm really happy. I'm really proud of it. And someone else might be going through this kind of hair loss worry. So yeah, show the world, and yeah, that's what we did. And yeah, he's so pleased.
I love that. I love when people change their mind after the
Yeah, it's
third
cool, isn't
session.
it?
Right there, yeah. I'm like, yes, I don't have to blur it because it always looks better. It always
it,
gets more attention when you don't have to blur the
I
face.
completely agree. Completely agree. When it's blurred, and plus when you put it in a blurring app, you lose
Pixelate
the
resolution.
quality a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you think, oh, I just want to, and then if you crop it, it doesn't quite look that good.
I
So
know.
I prefer it when they don't. But ultimately, it's his confidence, and if he feels good to show his face, then amazing. If a client doesn't, then I get it. You know, but this guy, he turned it around, and he was so pleased and proud, and yeah, posted it earlier. Super pleased.
I love it. All right. So, Kristian, we'll wrap this up. Thank you for sharing that. How can people get in contact with you? How can they order your product? How can they
Um,
find you?
yeah, appreciate it. So at KRT SMP is my Instagram website, krtsmp.co.uk, nice and simple. Regarding Aurum, my ink, it's not for sale. What a
Not
terrible
yet.
business plan.
Not yet.
It's not for sale. It is for my trainees. All of my trainees that I've taught, whether it be in Italy, whether it be in France, Slovakia, Belgium, all these different places that I've been so fortunate to go to, they are available to them. And if you just drop me a DM for the time being, then I can get that sent out and sorted for you. And then, Joey, does it go to the world? I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.